often you see a telephone box in somebody's garden. I'm guessing not in service anymore. Good afternoon everybody, Car Biker here. Just going for a little ride on the Z1000 on a Sunday afternoon. Well, Sunday morning was when I started. It's 12:01. And we'll be heading back soon for the British Grand Prix, so you can tell where we are in time. This is not the bike for lanes, but there's that much traffic around on the main road. I thought I'd come off the main road and see what I could find. It won't count in my lane explore challenge because I've not got Kalimoto going, so I won't be recording where I've been, but I just wanted to get away from all the cars, to be honest. And crazily, the speed limits are faster on these roads than they are on the main roads. Although not so sensible to actually do them. Where should we head? Let's head to Stamford Bridge, why not, eh? Anyway, I thought I'd do a quick video while I'm out. I tried to record one a while back and it was with the wrong microphone. Didn't know it was the wrong microphone at the time, but it turned out to be the wrong microphone. Stamford Bridge looks to be under that storm over there actually. I think I'll go the other way. Head back towards Wet Wang. Yeah, I tried to do this video a while back, say with the wrong microphone, and the sound was terrible. And I actually went out and recorded 3 videos, all on roughly the same topic, so I suppose I should probably try and do them again with the Purple Panda. And the 3 videos were all about tech on motorbikes, but 3 different kind of types of tech. We'll go that way, see what's down there. That's that old garage there that I went to visit once. Derelict building now. I think it's a place where they used to maintain buses, if I recall correctly. I will try and get on topic at some point. So the first one that I recorded was after watching a video by Hippo-Drones, where he was doing a supposed long-term review. He's not even had it a year yet. Come on, Hippo-Drones. Well, yeah, long-term review of his Suzuki GSX 8S, which I found tricky to say. Where he's talking about all the tech that's on it, and every time he talks about tech, particularly rider modes, it's almost become a tradition now for me to say, "Don't want none of that on my bikes." And for him to justify it, I think he even mentioned in a recent video about I know some of you don't like all the tech on your bikes, and I did wonder whether he was getting that in there first. Don't really know this area too much, so I'll go this way and see where it leads. Another phone box, but not in somebody's garden. When he was reviewing it, he was talking about the tech that was on it, and he was talking about rider modes and traction control and ABS and various bits and pieces that it has. And I've always had this thing, and Hippo-Drones might have changed my mind on it, which is where I'm going to get to ultimately on this video. I always had this thing in my head that the tech is about primarily profit and selling bikes with more tech on, so that you can say you're one better than everybody else because you've got this thing that they don't have. But for me, it's always been the problem that it adds a lot to the price of bikes. When I bought this bike, this is the last of the non-ABS ones. I mean, not the last one, but the last year when they were allowed to make the bikes and sell them above a 125 without ABS. So this hasn't got ABS, and I'm quite pleased about it. And if I wanted one with ABS, I wouldn't have been able to have the orange one that I liked, but apart from that, it would have been an extra £500. Now that's now baked in, so once the ABS versions weren't available anymore, that was £500 extra that it cost. Probably £400 of that is profit, spread across the manufacturer and the retailer and whatnot, and the manufacturer of the ABS. So I'm sure it won't be Kawasaki who's manufacturing that tech, it'll be Bosch or someone. I've also thought on the rider modes particularly, is this because they've just lost the ability to make a bike that actually functions well in all conditions? A little old car up here. You know, you get these bikes now that have got various rider modes. I rode one in the past, it was an MT-09 that had 3 modes on. So you have like a full power mode, but it had an incredibly snatchy throttle that people said they didn't like. Then it had a second mode that was a little bit less power, where crappy little car. Yeah, so a little bit less power, where you're not getting the power you've paid for, which always kind of baffles me. If you're going to ride it around in that mode all the time, which I'm sure some people will do, then yeah, you've paid for something. You might have well got a smaller bike that was cheaper. And then you have the kind of the mode right at the bottom, quite often called a rain mode, where it's taken all of the guts out of the bike completely, so that you can't lose it in the rain, I guess. I mean, you could always just use a little bit less right hand, you know. That was always my thought anyway. So on the modes thing, it felt like, you know, maybe they're just not able to create a bike like that anymore. Maybe they just, you know, or they don't want to put the money into doing it. Maybe it's cheaper for them, because, you know, in the end they're all about profit, aren't they? Maybe it's cheaper for them to create a bike that way, or more profitable to make a bike that way. Spittle, interesting name. But by doing it, they can't actually get one that's rideable in all conditions. I think it also it gives a crutch to people who can't ride a bike like that. I suppose if you bought a bike like that for the first time and you rode it in the rain mode, you could kind of get used to it and then slowly increase the power as you get used to the bike. I suppose there's a benefit there. But once you've actually been riding something with a bit of power for a while, when I borrowed that MT-09, I never put it out of the top mode. I had no interest in kind of taking the power out of it, really. But they're also, yeah, it could be a crutch, you know. If you're so used to riding a bike that's got these things, so you've got rain mode every time you go out in the wet, and you've got ABS for every time you need to slam the anchors on, and you've got traction control for every time you give it a little bit too much right hand. That seems to me that you've never really learnt to use your controls properly. You're just relying on a computer doing it for you. And one of these days that computer's going to go wrong. I watched a guy do a review ages ago of a Z1000, and he'd got a model with ABS, and he was saying about how great it was that it had ABS, because he didn't have to think about his braking, because it has got pretty powerful brakes, this bike. He said, oh, I don't have to worry about it, I don't have to worry about locking up the front wheel. So I just, basically my thing for putting on the brakes is grab them as hard as you can, let the ABS do the work. That seems like a recipe for disaster to me. You know, that could end up, if it goes wrong, with an almighty crash. If you've just got your ABS isn't working properly, you know, you've got a load of muck on it or something on the ABS ring, and it can't detect your slide properly, and you've not noticed your ABS light come on or something. I don't know why I looked down then. It hasn't got an ABS light, this one. Do I trust that that's going to stay on the top of that car? Not really. So there's, you know, the same thing really with the modes and the traction control as well. Is it just a thing, especially as they're now in, you know, putting these kind of lean angle sensitive things on? Is it just the case that, you know, you're going to have a crutch there that you basically can tip into a corner, give it the full beans with your right hand, and it not spit you off until it does, of course, because something goes wrong, or you borrow somebody else's bike. Maybe there's a lesson there. If people are relying on these things, don't lend them your bike. Well, I put my usual comment on the video, and Hippo-Drones came back with a reply, and it made me think. I like it when people make me think. That's why I like the comments on these videos. Please do leave comments, because I like it when people make me think, and I like it when people make me change my mind. And I think I might have almost changed my mind on this one. I still don't want it. I still want none of those things on my own bike. But one thing that got me thinking was, maybe they can't make those things anymore. Maybe they can't make an all-rounder bike anymore. But not because they've just forgotten how, or they're trying to make extra profit, but maybe the rules have just changed to the point where they can't anymore. So I'm intrigued to hear your opinion on this. This is a Euro 4 bike. All sorts of trickery on it. Well, there was before I disconnected some of it, but all sorts of trickery on it to kind of move gases around and make sure all of the fuel's burnt and keep the CO2 as low as possible and all that kind of stuff. And as part of that, it became around the time this came out, it became a thing, there was a talking point that we'd reached a point where the throttles were snatchy. They were a bit trickier to control. You had to have a bit more finesse. I even considered on this one getting a throttle tamer at one point while I was getting used to the snatchiness of this throttle, because it really is quite snatchy, to the point where sometimes on slow roundabouts I'll use a bit of clutch to take the snatch out of it, especially if it looks a bit diesely, you know, because I don't have a magic computer box doing it for me. But this is Euro 4, and since then we've had Euro 5, and I don't know if Euro 6 has come along yet, but I'm sure it's on the way. And every time that they bring in these new rules about emissions and various other things that they're trying to restrict on bikes, they do change the way that the bike behaves. So maybe the problem is that they can't make a bike that is actually good in all conditions like that anymore. Or maybe it's too expensive too. And they have to then add all of these extra bits of technology in order to do it. Don't know, what do you think? As I say, the comments are down there for changing my mind about things, so please do try. I have absolutely no idea where I am. I'm going to go right here, see where that leads me. Yeah, let me know what you think of them there comments. Thanks for watching, everyone. Ride safe, and I'll talk to you all again soon.